Thank you for joining us for today's event. My name is Mark. I'm a bookseller here at Powell's in Portland, Oregon. I want to encourage you to check out our lineup of upcoming virtual and in-person events at powells.com. In the coming weeks, we're looking forward to welcoming many authors. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or sign up for our weekly events email at powells.com. Tonight, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are, we are delighted to welcome Kim Harrison in conversation with Charlaine Harris. Yeah, the little wave there, I like that. Kim Harrison is the author of the #1 New York Times bestselling Hollows series, including American Demon, The Witch with No Name, and The Undead Pool. She has published more than 24 books, from young adult to speculative thriller, has written short fiction for various anthologies, and has scripted 2 original graphic novels set in the Hollows universe. She has also published traditional fantasy under the name Dawn Cook. I hope I haven't ruined anyone's secret there by saying that very well-known thing. She is here tonight to talk about the latest book in her beloved Hollows series, Trouble with the Cursed. Do you say cursed or cursed?
Cursed.
Cursed, good. Yeah, I got it right first time then. The Hollows series has some big celebrity fans. Jim Butcher, #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Dresden Files, says, blends the best qualities of Anita Blake and Stephanie Plum. Kim Harrison carries it off with style. And Diana Gabaldon, #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Outlander series, says, the world of the Hollows is fast-moving, funny, harrowing, scary, and the greatest compliment to a fantasy, absolutely real. And Charlaine Harris, no less, #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Sookie Stackhouse series, says, I wouldn't miss a Kim Harrison book for anything. Which is just as well, because joining Kim in conversation, we are very lucky to welcome Charlaine Harris. She is the best-selling author, best known for her series, The Southern Vampire Mysteries, which was adapted as the TV series True Blood, which was a massive success for HBO. A number of her books have been bestsellers, and this series was translated into multiple languages and published across the globe. I feel like both of these intros are filled with things that the people watching are going, yeah, we know, carry on. One more thing though, this event includes a Q&A. We'd love for you to write questions in. If you look for the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, and if you'd like to ask a question, write it in there. If there's someone's asked a question that you like, you can upvote that question, which puts it to the top of the list. I think that's everything. Please, wherever you are, put your hands together for Kim Harrison and Charlaine Harris.
I can hear that. Oh, Kim, I wanted to ask you, and I've wanted to ask you this for a couple of years now. What led you back to the Hollows, and how did it feel to return to the scene of your most successful crime?
Oh my gosh. First of all, Charlaine, I am so glad you are joining me on this today. I'm Zooms are not my favorite thing, but if there's somebody there I know and respect, it's a lot easier. So thank you for being here. Why did I come back to the Hollows, and how did I feel about it? Well, I really I felt like I needed to take a break, and I wrapped the series up with a big, beautiful bow, and I put it on the shelf, and I was done, and I needed to cleanse my palate. So I wrote a couple other things, and then it was like, I don't know. I kind of missed them. I missed Rachel, and I missed Trent, and I missed Ivy and Jinx. I especially missed Jinx, and it was like, I've got to be able to come up with something more that I can bring to the series. And fortunately, Rachel had matured in the last couple of books, and I found that taking that break was actually fortuitous, because then I could step away from my original thought of Rachel as being the bumbling private eye and step into the role of a smart, intelligent, got it all together person who's taking care of more than her just small circle. And when I stepped back into the Hollows, it was surprisingly easy. It was like coming home again, and the voice was still there, and I just feel lucky that it was still there.
Oh, that sounds very comfortable.
Yeah, well, you came back to a series after you abandoned it.
Yeah, I did. I came back to the Aurora Tea Garden books, but I identified with that character very strongly, and it felt like I was visiting a friend again. So
Yeah.
I had a good time seeing what she was up to and how her marriage was going and so on. And then she had a baby. So
Oh,
that
that
was
changes everything. Yeah,
that
that
changes
changes
that
everything.
changes everything.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be really awful if I showed her still being an amateur sleuth while she was carrying a newborn baby around. That's pretty irresponsible. So I thought, well, I think I'll leave well enough alone now. I'll let her raise
Yeah.
her child in peace. We already have a
Yep.
question up here.
Oh, wow.
How long did you have Al's brother in mind?
Oh my goodness. There it is. Yeah, Hodin. Hodin is Al's brother. It's a bit of a spoiler, but not if you've read the last couple books. And I did not have him in mind to be Al's brother until the very end of the first rewrite. And then it was like, there's got to be a reason why Al is so upset with this guy. And usually sibling rivalry is a big trigger for a lot of people. A lot of people can identify with it. They get it right from the first page. And so I dropped that bombshell and it seemed to work. It fits really well.
Oh, I thought so. I never doubted it. I thought, gosh, somehow I missed that. But okay, this seems very likely.
Mm-hmm.
And you already have another question, my lady.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have any hopes for the Hollows to come to the big screen or the small screen?
Well, the big screen would be the dream that's not going to happen. The small screen is still it's still a possibility. I have a great agent for my film. I have a great film agent. Let's say that, Dan Angel, and he is currently shopping it around to all the known suspects. But we're both being very careful because I have had this run-in before where the rights were purchased, they were moving forward on it, and it just kind of petered out, and we don't want that to happen again. So he's being real careful, and he wants to make sure that whoever gets a hold of it is has enough money, frankly, has enough money to do it upright.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I mean,
yes.
If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Yeah. If it's cheap looking, it won't get renewed. So, no, you want something a little more luxe.
Right. And there's so many options out there now. When True Blood got picked up, that was amazing because there weren't so many smaller film houses out there. It's kind of like the Vanity Press used to be the only way you could get your book out, and now there are so many other ways. So maybe that's the curse, though. There's so many out there. It's really hard to find somebody to pick it up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've had 2 things in development for, I don't know, almost 3 years now. It really makes you think this just is not going to happen. And then they'll tweak the line a little bit and you'll think, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, it's a big waiting game.
Yeah, it is.
It's a waiting game. I try not to think about it.
That's a very good policy because you're powerless in this. This is just something you have to wait and see.
Oh, you've got a question too, Charlaine. Will you ever revisit Sookie and let us see what her life is like for her now? Oh, that would be very cool.
Probably not. After the big dump of hatred I got at the end of the books and the the death threats and all that, I am just not tempted at all to go back to Sookie, even though I do miss her and she was a lot of fun, but No, I'm just not ready to incur that level of hostility again.
That can hurt. I mean, I love my readers, and they've always been good to me, but that would hurt. That would hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very vocal minority.
Yeah.
But still, somehow the clamor of that outweighs the very nice majority who have always been so supportive and
Hmm.
say all the
Hmm.
time, "Oh, I love your books." And I'm sure you hear that. I'm going, I can never hear that often enough. Okay, here's a question I don't understand. Has anyone
Okay.
approached the subject of miniatures for the Hollows with or without an RPG?
Oh, no, I kind of get that one. No, nobody has asked me about that, but those rights to make miniatures, I'm sure would be tied in with the film rights. So I doubt we will ever see that. That was real quick.
Yeah. Okay. What about different stories but in the same worlds? That's for both of us.
Oh, cool. You want to take that first?
Yeah, I have written stories in the same world. I wrote the Midnight Texas books, which were in the same world as the Sookie Stackhouse novels. And every now and then I'll write a short story that's in the same world. I just had one in Heroic Hearts about the
Yeah, I saw that.
Britlingans who appeared in one of the Sookie books and had their own short novella in another anthology. So every now and then I do enjoy writing in that world. What about you?
Mhm. You know, I haven't in a long time. Excuse me, I haven't in a long time. I usually use short stories and novellas to kind of develop a character in my head. And I know the characters so much right now that I haven't seen the need to. But having said that, I have agreed to write a short story for an upcoming anthology. The anthology doesn't even have a name yet, so don't go looking for it. And I think I'm going to write it on Al, because Al is starting to change. He's my demon, and he's starting to change again. And when he does that, I need to find out why. So I'm going to delve into that.
Does he love Rachel?
You know, he loves her like a father. I really think it's a father-daughter relationship. I know that Rachel doesn't feel for him anything other than mentor, you know, that he's her mentor. She cares for him a great deal. And I think Al respects Rachel to the point where there would be no sexual tension there at all, although we did start there. It was more like he was using that as a way to hurt her until he found out he couldn't hurt her that way.
Okay. Oh, how much fun did you have writing Jinx's human side?
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. It was a give and take, though. I wanted to show, it was harder than it looked, because I wanted to show him being capable, because he's been in our world. He knows about driving. He knows about drive-ins. He knows about TV remotes and phones and everything else. But now he's not 4 inches tall. He's regular size. And so there are differences. And so finding that balance was fun as a writer. But seeing him react to his wife and his child, who were still 4 inches tall, and they were so fragile, and I think it was an awakening for him, and he still carries that with him. But I had a blast. We went up to Mackinac City for that one, which is my old vacation stomping grounds, and so you know that was a lot of fun. Research, yes, lots of research.
Of course, it had to be research.
Okay. Who's reading the questions, you or me?
It's your turn.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh. Okay. I'm not seeing one here for you popping up. We need some more for Charlene. Until we get some more for Charlene, how many Hollows books am I projecting to have this time around? That is a good question. Trouble with the Cursed is the first one in a 2-book contract. So there will be another one. It's already sitting on my editor's desk. So that one's in the bag. I also have another series that my publisher wants to, let out of the stable. So I'm not sure when the next Hollows book. I'd like to do a Hollows book every year and then wedge these other ones in there. The books are doing good as long as people are reading them. I don't have any intention of stopping them. I will say that little dream sequence epilogue at the end of Witch with No Name, I'm still working towards that. I do apologize for making it into a dream. That was my Dallas moment there. But, it was either that or no more Hollows books. So forgive me.
Oh, an anonymous attendee wants to know if there's any chance of another book in the Perry Reed series.
That's a tricky one. That originally was a 3-book contract and the books weren't selling well enough. So we decided to put a turn book in there instead. And so the last book is written. We're being very careful on my numbers at this point. So putting a book out there that doesn't have a guaranteed return isn't the best thing to do at this point. Maybe in a couple of years, I'll be able to put a book out like that. I hope so, because I do not want to put it out myself. I enjoy working with my publisher far too much to do this by myself. So it's just going to be a matter of time.
Oh, I got a question about Quinn. After Sookie and the Midnight Texas books, will we see any more about him in future? That is the only character I have considered writing a book about is Quinn, because who doesn't like a sexy bald guy? And I would just really enjoy writing another book about Quinn if it was good enough. I don't want to just write it to satisfy my own fantasies. I'd like to write it.
No, that's what it's good though. That's what
perfectly
it's good.
valid, right? Perfectly.
Yeah.
So that might happen. That might actually happen.
Oh, I think you should. Okay.
This lady says, will you write a second book to the turn? I love Trent's mom, she said.
Oh, me too. Trent's mom is one of the reasons why I might write a second turn book. This is the prequel series to the Hollows, and it takes place in the 60s. And that was a little bit of a learning curve for me, which I enjoyed. I had to do some research on that. But Trent's mom, she's a bit of a loose cannon. I am not sure just how good she is. I mean, she lives with Trent's dad. She's married to Trent's dad, who was an absolute horror. So she's got to have really a strong backbone, and I'd love to see that. It might be time for that. And I also want to see Trent as a kid. I want to see Trent at the Make-A-Wish camp and banging around with Rachel and Lee and see what trouble they get into. So it's possible. It's not on my radar, but you never know.
Those memories of hers in this book were really interesting. I thought I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I like bringing in. I don't want to do too much of that, but in certain spots, it hits the right note. Yep, I agree. Okay, what else we got? There's a lot of questions here. Oh, here's one for you, Charlene. What inspired you to write about Eric losing his memory?
Oh, because that was the only way we could see him without all of the political crap he drags around with him all the time. I wanted to see Eric as he might have been
Oh,
if
that
he,
is so fascinating.
if he,
Yeah.
if he hadn't had the intense need to prove himself as a vampire, to discover that he valued going up in that world more than anything else. He wanted to succeed and work his way up the ladder. But without that, he was a whole, not a whole different person, but really a stripped clean person, literally and figuratively. And I thought that would be very interesting to explore.
Yeah. I haven't read that particular book, but it sounds fascinating. I try not to do that too much with Rachel. I've had a couple of memory wipes with her. Well, she's missing a good part of her childhood, which is fun to throw things in. But as far as losing what's happened to her, I try not to do that just because I get confused as a writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my hat is off to you.
Well, it was easier with someone who wasn't my primary character.
Oh, I suppose it would be. Yeah.
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 But when he doesn't remember the good times he and Sookie shared. And she
Oh,
does. Which,
ow.
yeah,
Yeah.
very kind of poignant, but I just do the worst things to her. Just terrible.
That's our job, right?
That's our job. Yeah. Lisa Gardner wants to know if Jinx will be able to father kids again with his new love interest.
Oh, okay. Not getting into too many spoilers there. I haven't decided that yet, actually. We will see. I'm not sure how I want to handle that. So that is, I am a plotter by nature, but a lot of things I leave up for discovery, and that is one of them. Mm-hmm.
Me too. Me.
Oh, are you? I wanted to find out if you're a plotter or a pantser. Are you? Which one are you?
Nah, I'm a pantser. Every day is a surprise to me, and I love that. It keeps me entertained. If I don't know what's going to happen, then it makes it more fun to find out.
I hear that. I totally get it. Sometimes I think I pull too much on Ivy, the little Ivy in me, and I plot everything to death. And it's like, well, what's left to be fun? But it's the relationships and that I don't plot out. And I never know who's going to live till I get to the end. And I never know who's going to, I don't know the relationships, but everything else, I got to plot it out. But I just have to.
I'm so envious. I'm so envious. I just figured out a couple of days ago that for the next book to happen, I'm writing the fourth book in the or is it the fifth? I'm writing the fifth book in the Gunny Rose series. Yay! And the fourth one will be out in November.
Okay.
The Serpent in Heaven. And the fifth one is what I'm writing. And I know what has to happen in the next book because my editor and I determined there would be another book. So I had this big build up, and I thought, okay, I'm going to have it. I'm going to have that event in the last book. But to have it in the last book, someone has to die.
Oh no! Oh,
so I'm going, dang it! Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, that kind of solves a lot of problems for me. So I'm going, okay, well, I never mind killing somebody off.
I'm afraid to now.
Sometimes I just go kind of wholesale and just kill off a great many people.
I don't think I could do that. Oh, you're braver than me.
Ruthless. I'm ruthless.
Yeah. Oh, which kind of brings up the question of how hard was it writing The Loss of Siri? Yes. Siri was hard to lose, but I had to. Her death kind of caught me off guard too. I wasn't planning on that one, but that was way in the books, way back. And you know, that she's gone kind of opened up the door to having Quinn and Trent raising these two girls alone, which is something I really wanted to touch on, that two guys could raise two girls all by themselves. But you never know. There might be a love interest in the future.
Oh, now Holly Van Houten, this is interesting. I want to know how you came up with your girl. My daughter's interested in Dungeons and Dragons and she loves seeing the maps. Do you make maps about your own worlds to understand how places connect to each other? I do. I make maps. I love it. Do you make maps?
You know, I did for the very first book I wrote. I did a real detailed map. But the Hollows is like it's just in the U.S. and it's pretty much the U.S. that we know. So I haven't had to. No.
Do you draw plots of Rachel's neighborhood?
No, but I drew out her church. I know the floor plan of her church,
Yeah.
and where it sits on the block. Yeah.
I'll
often do that I'll do that for a fight scene though. I'll often draw out the room where the fight's going on. So I make sure nobody goes through the wall or that unless they mean to.
Has Pike thrown a wrench in the Rachel and Trent relationship plan?
Oh my goodness. You know, Pike, he's my living vampire that I brought in. I don't want to give too much away because the books aren't exactly all written yet. But since you asked, Melissa, has Pike thrown a wrench in the Rachel and Trent relationship? No, he has not. He was supposed to be, but he kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, Miss Kim, this is something I don't want to do. Oh, I hear puppies.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's good. Pike's not going to be a wrench, but there is somebody who's going to be a wrench. And you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. That's all I can say right now.
Let's see. Jeremy wants to know, what actor on True Blood do I think enacted their character the best?
Ooh.
Well, Kristen Bauer was amazing as Pam, and she's the one member of the cast that I've really kept in touch with, actually. I think she's just great. But of course, the actor who played Lafayette, who so sadly died, was just incredible. Just incredible. They were all good. That was really a good cast, I thought. I was very, very excited about the casting and about how good all the actors were. I think that's one of Alan Ball's strengths, is casting.
Yeah, you start off with a good cast. You're not going to go wrong. Yep. Okay, here's a question for both of us. How long does it take you to write a book? And do you write every day? And what is your process? Well, that's a long question.
It is. It takes as long as my contract says I have.
Yeah.
I do write every day, but I had COVID twice and it fried my brain.
Lord.
And I am so much slower than I used to be. So that is a real factor in planning my work.
Charlaine, I didn't know. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah,
Well,
I can
people
imagine how
get
that
it.
would set you back. Yeah.
You know,
Twice.
I had it first before there were any vaccinations. And then
Yeah.
after I'd been vaccinated and boosted, I got it again.
Oh, man, that's just not right. Ew.
I didn't think so
No.
either.
No.
But it wasn't as bad the second time. So
That's good.
lots of people have done this and they come out of it. So someday I'm going to wake up and my brain will be, you know, back to normal?
Yeah, I kind of had a big brain fuzz during COVID. I never had it, but my mind was so distracted with everything that was going on. I couldn't make a plot decision. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I kept second guessing myself, and that's just not my normal SOP. But back to the question, it usually takes me about 6 months to do a rough draft, and then I play with it a couple months.
Uh-huh.
And then I give it to my editor probably about a year after I start it, and then they have it for a year, and then I spend a couple months on the rewrite. And so from pen to shelf probably takes about 2 years, maybe a little longer for me. And I write Monday through Friday. The weekends are mine. Those are mine. You can't have them. Publisher, no. It seems like there was a third part to that question, but I don't remember what it was. Oh dear. Oh well.
I write every day, but you know, my output is minimal.
You know, I don't write nearly as long. I used to write 8 hours a day, and now I'm down to like 5.
Yeah.
Because I need that time. I'm about 80% back there. And frankly, I don't think I'm ever going to write 8 hours a day anymore.
Oh, I know I won't.
Yeah, I'm getting older, and
yeah.
I need to get out of my chair.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Denise Meehan wants to know if there's any chance of a baby for Trent and Rachel.
Of course not. No, not to the end. Not to the end.
That's out of the picture for Rachel, right?
Yeah, it can't happen.
As far as she knows.
As far as she knows, yeah. At some point, that would be like my ultimate happy ending. But I hope there's a lot more books between now and then. Yeah. Because once she has a baby, it's over. I'm not writing any more about her. I am not going to put her through that with a baby.
See, that was the way I felt with Aurora.
Yep, not going to do that.
For both of you, have you ever been inspired by your dreams and used it in any of your writing?
Oh, gosh. You want to take that one first?
I am not inspired by my dreams. My dreams are incredibly prosaic. I mostly dream I'm in a hotel and I can't find my room or my luggage. And that really doesn't help with the writing.
No.
I have very basic dreams. Now, the longer it's been since I wrote something, the weirder my dreams get because I'm not using the creativity.
No kidding.
Yeah, but still, not anything I want to write about. I think dreams can be boring, really, unless it's you.
Yeah.
What about you?
You know what? I might use a piece here and there. Oh boy, puppies again.
Yeah, pedestrians.
Oh, those horrible pedestrians. How dare they? How dare they?
Yeah.
I don't use dreams very often. I have pretty vivid dreams and I love it, especially when I get them right before I wake up and I can remember them and my writer mind can kick in and kind of give it some structure. But I generally don't use them. You say you have a reoccurring dream about losing your luggage. I have a terrible dream about getting on the elevator and getting off at the wrong floor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some deep meaning.
I think there is. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, Holly Van Houten says she's read most of my books and she's 4 books into the Rachel Morgan series. After she gets through with that, what authors do you recommend?
Oh,
Patricia Briggs.
Oh, very much so, yes.
Jim Butcher.
Yep.
They're both great. Benedict Jacka, have you read him?
I have not, no.
Oh my gosh, he's so good. And Sarah Painter. Her Crow Inquiry books are just amazing. what time I don't write, I read. I read probably 5 books a
Oh,
week. I
oh,
just,
my hat is off to you.
well,
I don't read that much.
oh, I read a lot and I love to recommend books.
I read hardly at all anymore, and I couldn't tell you why. I think it's because I like getting out in my garden and actually, physically doing
Doing
something, and
stuff.
then
Yeah.
and my brain is dead at that point, and
Yeah.
the thought of getting into a book again is just, and well, yeah, I should read more.
Well, that's just my thing. I love it. What led both of us to write about
Oh,
vampires?
vampires. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Well, it's been so long. I don't know if I remember what first drew me.
they're
Um,
versatile.
yeah, they are. They are. They're dangerous and sexy. I mean, that's fun.
Yeah. They live a long, long life. That's
They
fun.
do. Yeah. Uh-huh. What's not to love, I guess.
What am I? Oh, yeah, Lisa Gardner. I am working on the Gunny Rose books, as I said before, and I've been having a great time. Thank you.
There it is. Yes, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
I gotta go back and find the first 2 now.
Well, I hope you enjoy them. I love writing an alternate America. And the decision, I have to make a lot of decisions quickly because I'll think, did they have indoor toilets in hotels? And you have to look all that stuff up.
Yeah.
So that can be kind of fun. In a way, this world is not that extremely different from the world in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm. Is that your target, 1930s?
Yeah.
Is that where? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't tell from the first one. I had to do a lot of guessing, but that's about where I put it. What drew you to do a alternate reality? I'm real curious on that.
I had to write a short story for a charity anthology, and I wanted to write about a woman who shot a lot of men, and she had to not get arrested. So it had to be a world in which she wouldn't immediately get arrested for behavior like that. So that led to the world being, a fractured America, more like the Old West in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I loved it.
So that all worked out, and I thought I could write a book about this. So
you could write more than one. Yeah.
Yeah. So far, so good. Melissa says, would you ever have official character artwork made?
Well, I probably would not unless it was picked up and then the studio would probably do it. Yeah. I know there's a lot of fan art out there and I love seeing it, but I can't endorse it. No.
Me either. Any more than I would read. I don't read fanfic.
Yeah, there is no fanfic. There is no fanfic.
Yeah, I can't do that and still stay on track with my own stuff. So, and if I got characters drawn, as a matter of fact, I've got a really good drawing of Eli from an artist at the convention I just went to. And I really enjoy it, but the characters look like something to me in my head, and I'm sure you feel the same, and you can't ever quite convey that to a reader. They'll see their own version of your description in their head.
Yep, because they're pulling on their own experiences. Yeah. Now I did do some artwork and had some artwork done when I did the World book. But that's about as official as it gets, I guess.
Okay. Kim, my favorite support character is David. Have you considered writing a short story making David the main character?
David's tricky. He's my alpha wear, and he has it so together. I mean, he's like my dragon. He can swoop in and solve whatever problem there is so fast that there would be no story. That's the kind of guy that David is. I keep having to send him off to werewolf camp to get rid of him so he doesn't solve the problem too quick. But you know, I could do one with David, but David's not growing as a person, or well, at least he's not growing by leaps and bounds as a person, and so I'm not drawn to do anything with him. I'm usually drawn to do short stories with the people, the characters who are changing the most, and I need to figure out why. So it's possible, but I'm not seeing it. He's too steady Eddie.
Uh-huh.
Wow, there are a lot of questions there.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to get to all these, but we'll get to a few more, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, the time is flying.
Yeah.
What authors did you enjoy as kids?
Oh, that's going to date me. I like Larry Niven, Heinlein, Anne McCaffrey. Oh, loved her. In fact, I loved her work so much that I had to learn how to knit a fire lizard to put on my shoulder.
Oh, I am not capable of doing that. I'm struck with admiration.
Oh yeah, I knit when I'm upset or puzzling over something. So you can imagine what I was trying to figure out when I came up with this guy. Oh my gosh. I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy authors. Ray Bradbury was my favorite, I think.
Oh, Ray Bradbury, so great.
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of Golden Age mystery writers, and Ray Bradbury and Shirley Jackson. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she is so great. If I could write as well as her, I would be so extremely happy. So happy. But no.
So have we dated ourselves enough now?
But these are all immortals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I'm looking over in the chat room. Piers Anthony. Yes, I devoured Piers Anthony. Yeah. Oh, there's one. When am I coming back to Cincinnati? Gosh, I am ready to come back to Cincinnati. I'll tell you. Okay, I'm doing my first live person signing on Friday in Ann Arbor at Nicholas. This is the first time I'm getting out and doing anything public after COVID. So if this goes well, hopefully there might be a small tour in the future. I don't like getting on airplanes anymore, but Cincinnati's definitely within reach.
Yeah. What area do you live in now, Dawn?
Oh, I'm in Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor's so pretty.
It is. I really like Ann Arbor. I grew up here, moved down to South Carolina, and I missed the weather, so I came back because I like the snow. So what do I do now? I go out to Arizona for the winter. Go figure.
Let's see. Do you see anything we haven't answered?
Let's see. Okay, I can answer this one real quick. Would you consider the Art from the Hollows Guide official? Probably not, no. Kim, am I going down the road for signings in any other part of the United States? Not this time, no. The thing with Nicholas, they're my home store, and it's kind of like a trial run where we're seeing if it works.
Yeah, and I think really for a while touring is pretty much dead.
Yeah, I do too. It's going to be hard to get that thing rolling if it ever gets rolling. I don't know. I honestly don't know. The airlines themselves are not reliable enough at this point.
That's right.
To structure a tour. Yeah. They just aren't. And I would hate to, there's a lot of money put into putting these things together and and to miss a store because
Would be terrible.
you couldn't get on the plane. Yeah, I don't really want to risk that either.
Or
So
they
so
canceled the flight that you were supposed to.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I know.
yeah. So I'm ready to get in my RV and drive. Oh, I have become quite the RVer. Charlene, I don't know if you do RVing or not, but
I do not.
I have taken to it like a duck to water. I really like our little RV.
Oh my goodness. That is so interesting.
It's like a boat on land, and I love being on boats. So that's how I look at it.
Okay. So you found a way to make it work.
Yeah, yep. Me and the dog and my husband. Yep,
Yeah.
That's it.
Would we be willing to do Zooms like this again? This is wonderful. Well, thank you,
Absolutely.
Sarah.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing Zooms at all now that I've gotten used to it. I think the first couple of times I was really nervous because I thought I would drop the technology somewhere and I wouldn't be able to find it. And because that's how I think about technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still afraid of being dropped out and not being able to get back in, but I guess you have to just get over it.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, let's see. Anything else? I still do book recommendations on my blog, but it's not every week. It's more like every month or sometimes 2 months. And I do recommend books very often. It's a feature on my website called Book and Blog. And I talk about whatever books I've read that I liked. I mean, not about the ones I threw in the pile 30 pages in, but the ones I really liked, because I
Yeah.
just don't think it's up to me to be negative about another person's work.
No.
But I do love recommending books I really enjoyed. Now, there's a big scale of enjoyment. You know, some books you say, oh, that was pleasant, that was fun. Some books you say, I loved that book. I wish I could write like but I love to recommend books. I really do. So I try to I had a new one up last week, as a matter of fact. I wish I were more consistent. I am not consistent.
I think everybody's still trying to get their feet under them.
Can you see anything else we haven't answered?
Let's see. We're getting close to cutting off, I think, but we still have time if anybody wants to drop anything new in the queue here. Okay, some of these need to go away. We answered that one. Okay, here's one for both of us. What scene and in which series do you wish made it into the world? As in, like, really happened? Oh.
Or as in on a television show?
Or yeah, I need some clarification on that one. Sarah, we need to know what you mean. Okay. Oh, not that I want you two to retire anytime soon, but what will you do when you do retire? Oh my gosh, I'll probably be in the ground. I'll be pushing up daisies when I retire.
I'm just going to slump over at my keyboard and that'll be it. I want to live long enough to see my grandchildren graduate from high school. You know, I'd love to do that. But I plan to keep on working because honestly, I don't know what else I would do.
I'm right there with you. This is what I do. It's not like a job. It's more of a calling, I guess.
Yes.
Now, having said that, I would like to have a chance to, look into developing some of my other interests.
You have
learned
other
how-
interests?
I do. I actually do. I've got my knitting and I've got my gardening and I've got, I learned how to quilt the last couple of years during COVID. So I'd kind of like to do some more
Wow.
quilting.
Wow.
Yeah, I got stuff I want to do. I want to go out and see you, Yosemite, and I want to do a little bit more travel. And I used to get my travel bug itched when I went on tour, and I haven't done that in 2 years. So now I've got to get out there and do it on my own nickel, and that's different. That's why the RV. Yeah.
What are your dogs' names? Abigail is the corgi, and Colt is the miscellaneous looking dog. They're both rescues from the pound. And
good
we have
for
had
you.
them both for, well, Colt is probably 14 now.
Oh,
And Abigail, we've had her for 6 years, and she was an adult dog when we adopted her. So we love them both very much. But Colt's so old, when we get him up in the morning, we go, Colt?
we have one like that too.
Is his
Yeah.
side going up and down?
Yeah.
That's Colt in the background.
Yep. Alex, she's our Chihuahua. That's where we're at with her. She'll cough, and it's like, you okay? You still with us? You still here? And she is. She's a good girl. She's blind, and she's a little arthritic, but she gets around. And then we have the puppy who's 2 years old. His name is Tashtali, which means rabbit. He's a let's see if I can get this right. He's a Xoloitzcuintli,
Wow.
which is he's a Mexican hairless.
Uh-huh.
And in about a month, we're going to go down and we're going to pick up his little sister. So we're really excited. We're going to have another puppy in the house. Just thrilled. They are such good dogs. And for writers, we need that. We need dogs to get us out of our chair.
Yes, we do. And honestly, dogs just give you something to love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important, to have something to love every day.
Mm-hmm.
Now that my kids aren't
Yep.
in the house anymore, or my grandchildren, you just go, I need to love something. You're it.
Well, I'm pretty lucky. My boys live really close, and
Well, that's
I
great.
see them about every other day. So they keep me grounded, that's for sure. But
Yes.
no grandchildren in the foreseeable future, and I'm okay with that. That's what my puppies are for.
Yeah, exactly. Grandchildren make a big difference, though, Kim.
Are they?
So big. Oh, such a
oh,
difference. But
oh.
I'd never even pictured myself as a grandmother, and now I have a grandmother name,
Ooh, what's your grandmother name?
Mimi.
Mimi. Yep, I should have known. Yep.
And I always wanted to be like Annie Mame. Annie Mame always just takes it's her nephew in the movie, on sweeping adventures, and bizarre things happen that his parents think is totally inappropriate, but he'll never forget it for the rest of his life. Well, I can't quite make good on that, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
You are the cool grandma. I can guarantee it. You are the cool grandma.
I hope so. I got to have something.
Oh, okay. Sarah got back with us. She wants to know the scene that our editor made us drop. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. My editor made me drop one scene, and I hated it because it was so good. It was so full of pathos. It was the death scene of a character that lived in the books.
Oh,
and I killed him because the death scene was so good. But then my editor said, a lot of people like this character. I really don't think you ought to do this. And I thought, damn it. But she was right. She was right.
Yeah.
I resurrected
don't you hate
the
it when
character.
they're right? Don't you hate it when they're right?
I do. But it was the only time she had ever told me I really needed to change that. And
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is the only time she's ever come down on me. I need to listen. That's why I have it.
Yeah. I can't think of one off the top of my head that I was asked to take out and remove. But I'm sure there's one or two in there. It's just that by the time I get done doing rewrites and copy edits and page proofs, it's like, oh, that's already gone. I don't need to think about that anymore. So I too listen to my editor because they know a lot more than I do about the room, what's going on in the room. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We are almost at 9. Well, it's 9 o'clock here. It's almost 9 o'clock here. What time is it where you are?
It's almost 8 o'clock.
8. Okay, you're an hour off from me.
Yeah. Almost. So someone was supposed to come in and
wasn't Mark supposed to be back? There he is.
That was great. I just was happy to listen to you talk about dogs and all the scenes that were cut out of your books. That was great. Thank you both for being here. Hopefully we'll see you in the store at some point in the future. That would be great. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thanks for all the questions. There were so many good ones in there. And please consider buying our authors' books. I know I probably don't have to tell the people watching to do that, but consider buying the books of these authors and consider going to powells.com to buy some there, because we have lots that we'd love to ship to you. We ship everywhere. And while you're there, you can see our upcoming events, virtual and in person. So powells.com for all that. I'm seeing loads of thank you messages rolling in. So many nice, polite people that read your books. This is great. I want to encourage everyone to be like this. Yeah, so many thank yous. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to end this lovely thing. I feel terrible doing this, but
before you do, I want to say goodbye.
Big goodbyes,
thank
everyone.
You guys.
Goodbye.
Thank
you. It was great to read your book. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you both. Bye.